Okay, here we are, our last presentation for Wonderfest. Custom designing your Greeblies. So I'm Stephen Burns. Welcome again. It's great. I see a lot of familiar faces. And you had a question for me over here.
Yeah, how would you rate your artistic skill on a
How would I
scale of
rate my artistic skills? I I'm very critical about myself. I would say I'm competitive, but I'm always improving. Always improving. I do not think I've arrived anywhere. I'm always looking for better ways to you know.
so do you feel that Blender can
Yes,
expand your artistic skills?
yes. That's a good
Because
question too.
my skills are pretty flat.
Well,
Skills,
but
I'm not in I don't picture things in
so you feel
3D.
your artistic skills are pretty flat.
Yeah.
That's why you're here. Right? Seriously, that's why you're here. One of the okay. Um, I'm an instructor. I I currently teach at three different institutions. Two of them are junior colleges, and one is a training institution. The training institution is Studio Arts. So let me share with you my website, chromelution.com. I've got little brochure cards. Make sure you guys have one of these. Have one of these before you leave. Um, the training institution, Studio Arts, are seasoned professionals in the Hollywood area. They're 10-year or more veterans who are using Maya for the 3D design. I'm training those guys to Blender. The Maya people are actually porting over to Blender now. Not because Blender is free. Come on in, join us. Now this is where the fun is. We got a seat right there in front. He wouldn't take it.
Well, the website does say that this room is upstairs, so there might be
I don't know what the
Right.
hell is
I was
going
wondering.
on.
I
Granted, no, you have to. There's a separate part of the
Right,
website.
this is the grant.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is great.
this is granted. So
Right.
but they was originally saying that grant is upstairs for some reason. So I'm
No.
wondering around there.
Oh no,
When we
map it does show that because I had to look for it.
Well, when we first started these workshops, they were all upstairs.
Uh-huh.
Now, then they decided to put them downstairs and make this room dedicated for all the 3D content. So just keep that in mind for following years. What was I saying?
You were talking about why they use Blender.
Oh, yes,
Why they're
yes,
moving to Blender.
yeah. So Blender, they're moving to Blender not because it's free. Real professionals don't use anything just before they're free. They use it because it's going to make them more productive, and it's going to revolutionize what they do. That's what Blender has done.
Is Blender open source?
Blender is open source. It will always be free. It basically survives off your donations and the donations of corporations. And they get support from Microsoft, from Adobe, from a lot of major companies out there. So it won't be going away anytime soon. In fact, it's growing leaps and bounds. So with Blender, you're not only getting modeling capabilities, you're getting video editing capabilities, compositing capabilities, effects capabilities. It's like an all-in-one package. So if I can have somebody turn off the lights in the back, I think it'll be a lot easier to see. Yeah, it's a switch. Yeah, that's it. Cool. Yeah, there we go. All right, so this is my website, chromelution.com. If you want to keep up where I am speaking schedule under the About, and you will list where I will be located next. Um, and then, of course, under the About, we've got my resume as well as a little information about me, testimonials. When people give me testimonials, I basically, put them in that particular section. Go to the showcase to see my artwork. So let's show you a little bit what I do. Um, the first thing that pops up are actual digital paintings. These are not photographs painted on top. These are actually eye to hand from a raw blank Photoshop file. I'm painting using a Wacom stylus or something like it. All right. So these are some of the drawings, some of the paintings that I get involved with. More of the digital art I will share. Let's share that with you. Okay. There's a combination of painting, digital compositing, or photographic compositing. This is 3D. I create a 3D character, but I also integrate it with some digital painting, and photo compositing. So I kind of use a lot of my skill sets. I blend it all together to create something completely unique. So I try to do something different with my skill sets. I get often a lot of private instructions where my client insists that they're not artists and they'll never be artists or think like artists or win competitions. Well, when you work with me privately, I insist that you get involved in competitions, and all of them will have all won awards. And then when they win awards, I go up to them and says, "Remember that fight we had about you would never be an artist and you would never think creatively?" And they laugh. They say, "I'm wrong. I was wrong." So yes, you can learn to be creative. You just stop telling yourself that you're not creative. All right, so you can come here and take a look at my artwork, the workshops. This is what you're going to be interested in. I started off as a Photoshop instructor. In fact, I've written 8 books in Photoshop. They're internationally published. If I let's see, where are my books in here? Well, we'll look at that later. Anyway, but what you're going to be interested in are the 3D workshops, the Blender 3D. There's 2 of them coming up. One's coming up at the end of June, in about a couple of weeks, and that's to accommodate you guys here at Wonderfest. And that is the Blender 3D modeling for 3D printing right here. Now, these are 5-week workshops. Today is just a way to get you inspired. You will not learn Blender in no one day. So, yeah, damn, it's kind of like, so I do a 5-week workshop. They're on Sunday mornings. Well, Sunday mornings, my time, I'm in San Diego, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. And each class, hey, Mike, yeah, come, there's a chair right up front, right near me. Come all the way around.
Actually, there's 2 chairs up.
Yeah, there's 2 chairs up there. Okay. Yeah, come, there you go. So Mike is he's one of my students. He's been in almost all my classes, right?
Yep.
Yeah. He started here at Wonderfest. And he took the workshop, the 8-hour workshop on Friday, and then he's been involved in my personal classes ever since then. So, okay. So that is the 3D printing. Now, after that is over, you guys gonna have the opportunity to also take the introduction to 3D printing, which focuses on Blender solely. So once you learn how to apply your craft in Blender, now you're going to learn Blender so that you get to further improve your craft. Does that make sense? Okay, so what you need to be doing is taking both of these classes. There's a discount code I would give you. It will give you just apply it when you go in there. We'll talk about it after class. Okay, let's go play GREEBLES. So I figure I'll start off with GREEBLES, all that little extra detail that we put on starships. And here, let me just do it this way. Let's bring this on up and GREEBLES. Let's just show you. Do a Google. GREEBLES images, right? Boom. Okay. GREEBLES. So some companies, depending on who you work for, will have a different name for it. Doodads, Noonads, Nernies, Greebles. I mean, Greebles. I think the Greebles or Greebles was the term coined by George Lucas. His team. Nernies and something was by somebody else. So every team seems to have a name for it. And they're basically nondescript shapes that you're going to use to add that nice, crunchy, delicious texture to the surfaces of your ship, right? And we're going to talk about basically how to do it. And how to do it is basically very simple. It's really very, very easy. But it requires you have a little bit of imagination. If I come and show something like this, there's all types of GREEBLES on here, but there's techniques in Blender that's going to really help you enhance. Here's a nice one here. Yeah. Yeah, that's a nice one there. There's all types of nice little techniques you can use. Now take a look at this. You will see that there's a lot of replication going on in here. All right. I'm going to start off with the quick and easy way, or the thing that would lead to the dark side that you can, immediately get involved with, and that is finding a Greebly pack. And they usually come as FBXs. Film box is what FBX stands for. And FBX is the standard format that you're going to use to bring something into your 3D program that was designed in another 3D program. And FBX is kind of like the central format to use, where whatever program you open it up in, it's going to be accurate to how it was created originally. Okay. So I happened to find a couple of these little Greebly packs. Okay. Now we're inside a Blender. And when you guys do the class, the 5-week class, you're gonna learn all about the interface of Blender, right? You're gonna learn all about this, how to set it up and all that stuff. I did that already in my first presentation yesterday. So we're gonna go import in an FBX file. So we're gonna access your file menu. I'm gonna come on down to import, and then you need to tell Blender what to import, and that means to import STL. Okay, cool. Then it says, okay, I get it now. You want an STL file. Where the hell do you want me to get it? Like, I'm going to know where to go get it. It's not going to know. So Blender doesn't do what you want to do. It does what you tell it to do. So you say, okay, I put that little Blender file in my D drive, and I know I made a little folder called Wonderfest. In fact, I think I called it Wonderfest GREEBLES, and there it is right there. And if you double click on that one, I put the GREEBLES in a separate folder called Greeble Pack, so I know exactly where everything is. So I will double click on that, and there they are. So there's one Greeble STL. I think we'll just use that one for now. STL file, and all you need to do is keep everything default over here. No reason to change any of this. Just double click on that file, and there it is. I'm going to hit the period key on my numeric side of my keyboard so it jumps out to show me everything that's selected. Okay, and I've got some Greeblies there. Okay, that's interesting. All right, I want to bring in another Greebly pack. All right, so that's one. So I'm going to go back to the file menu. I'm going to go back to import, go to STL. And there is one called, here's the Markham 3D Greeble set. Double click on that folder. Oh, it's not in there? I thought I had put it out here already. So let me just go double check. I've got a Greebles here. What is that? FBX. There's FBX and nothing's there. Okay, so I'm going to have to go in and open up the zip file. So I'm going to go into Windows Explorer. And
Because you choose to import it. You chose to import an STL, not an FBX.
oh, I did?
Yeah.
Oh, I apologize. So I made a mistake. So because I'm moving too quickly, I wasn't paying attention. Oh, I sure did, didn't I? FBX is, where are you?
Second from the bottom.
Second from the bottom, right there. Okay, you know what I need is my glasses. Exactly. And the thing is, I don't usually wear glasses, but when you work on the computer all damn day long, your eyes get tired. There we go. Yeah, there we go. That's much better. Okay, so go to my D drive. There we are. And we're going to go all the way down and go to our Wonderfest Greebles folder. Greeble pack. Okay. There's the Markham FBX right there. And if I double click it, boom. Ooh, we got them. Okay. So I'm going to grab these and just pull them to the side a little bit. Now, these here I made. I'm going to hit the move icon right there. It gives me a 3D widget where I can kind of like move them along by clicking on the arrow. It'll restrict it to that particular axis it's going to move into. We got 3 dimensions in Blender. That's the thing that's going to make things difficult, or to make the learning curve higher. X is going right to left. Y is going in and out, as we can see with the green line. X, Y, red, green, and blue, X, Y, and Z. Red X, green as Y, Z is going up and down. Most other programs have the Z going in and out, But the reason why Z is going up and down in Blender is to match 3D printing and CNC technology. Okay, so we've got stuff here. Okay, so let's see. We're getting close. Take a look at this. Look at that. Look at that. Now, your first part of your education is just by paying attention to stupid, simple shapes. How are stupid, simple shapes put together to make it look like a greebly? Greeblies are basically repetitive shapes. And oftentimes within those repetitive shapes, we're going to throw stuff in there that kind of throws a little interest that's a little bit out of the ordinary from those repetitive shapes. Look at this one here. All right? Now look interesting? We can put these on the bodies of any of our ships. Now, here are the rules for 3D printing. In order to print anything, everything must be airtight. Does anybody here not know what I mean by airtight? Let me see your hands. Okay, I got 2 hands go up. Okay, I'm going to show you an object that is not airtight. Shift A, that's going to be the shortcut to allow me to access all of my 3D objects. I'm going to go get a 3D primitive. Mesh plane. See that plane? Is that a 3-dimensional object or more 2-dimensional?
2D.
Yeah, it's more 2D. It's not airtight. It is not airtight. Anything that's on, come on in, join us. Here's a spot. You might be able to sit right in the middle of the table there. If you can see straight on up. Might be easier. All right, so this is not airtight. Now let's bring in something that's airtight. I'm going to grab this one, hit the period key. The period key on my numeric side is a shortcut for zooming in to the selected object. Okay, let's bring in an airtight object. Shift A. Mesh is where all your primitives live, and I think we'll get something like a cylinder, and then move it over to the side. This is airtight. That means all your points and all your edges are joined together to create an enclosed shape. That's airtight. That will 3D print. If I duplicate this, Shift D, like this, and bring it into a 3D program, bring both of these 3D objects into a 3D program, this will print as one piece. Why? Because they're both airtight. One of the little things you want to be careful of is making sure that your normals are all facing the right way. Right? So if I go into one of these airtight objects, let's kind of pull this on out. Grab that one, pull that one on out. I'm going to hit the tab key, which gives me a pie menu for my particular modes I'm going to work in. I'm going to go to edit mode, and where I can edit my object. If I choose to choose several of these faces like this, and I'm going to come right over here to my viewing option. What this is the overlay option. It's the 2 circles overlapping over one another. If I drop this down and come down toward the bottom, you see a thing called face orientation. Now, when you're making your greeblies, make sure this is always turned on. I'm going to show you why. Now, I'm going to come over here to I think it's under my mesh, normals, flip. All right, so what are normals? Normals is a side of your face that is viewable and printable. If it's clear gray, that means that side of the face is normal and printable. If it's red, which is why we turned on this face orientation, that means your normals are flipped and your 3D printer will not print this. Does that make sense?
essentially they're facing inward.
They're
instead of outward.
facing inwards, exactly correct. When you're working in Blender, you're going to get this, and I've done this before because I wasn't paying attention. I'm working in Blender, and all of a sudden, I get this, my model put together, is ready to print, put it to print, and the slicer was not seeing it, was not having it. And it's because I didn't pay attention to what areas of my model are normalized. Now, if I want to normalize this very quickly, I can hit the A key to select all and shift in for normal. Shift in, and it normalizes everything. So everything is now facing that way. Is that making sense? So let's go back and undo it real quick. I'm going to show you a trick. Or you can say, just select those faces by themselves and go to your face. No, face was under mesh. Was a mesh. Yeah. Mesh, normals, flip. That does it as well. So be aware that you can select individual faces, normalize them, or flip them. And by the way, if anybody has any questions, stop me anytime and ask. All right, so now that we understand that, one rule is everything must be airtight. The second rule is all your normals have to be facing outward. All right, let's go to work. Let's go take a look at our greeblies here. Let me go back to my object mode. And let's go see the greeblies. And we've got some panels here. Now, panels are a little bit tricky because when you start putting panels on your models, these panels may or may not work for you. Because your models, or everybody's models, are going to have a different type of a surface. So and a different type of style. Maybe your surface style. These styles may not match your particular surface. I'll show you guys. I think of a better way to do this. Relying on paneling like this might work for some, but it may not work for all. Okay, so let's go to work. I'm going to show you how I did these here. Now, a lot of this is using your imagination and paying attention to the geometry that's in front of you. Let's go get a cylinder, and let's go ahead and start making it. I have a cylinder right here. Let's pull it on over. Hit the S key for scale, just to make it a little bit bigger so we can see it. Okay. Oops, I didn't mean to do that one. Undo that one. That was, I want to do it that way. Okay. Oh, it's flipped it on me, huh? Bastards. Okay, so this is why we have normals turned on. So I resized it in such a way that it flipped my normals. So hit the A key, shift in, boom, that fixed it in Blender. That's a common technique in Blender. Once you do your modeling and before you go to object mode, because there are two modes. Edit mode, hold the tab key. Edit mode, where we're going to actually create our vision. Object mode is where you're going to animate everything. So if there's any reds in there, you can select it all and hit shift in. Okay, so I'm going to take this top surface and I'm going to hit my move tool. I'm going to make this a double layer bar by going to the edge and just dragging it out like that. It makes it easier to see. Okay, I'm holding down Control and Alt or Option, put my mouse here, left click and drag, and I can manually make this bigger and smaller. It's a nice little trick. The same thing over here in these panels. Just hover over in the bottom and Control and Alt or Option and zoom and make these larger or smaller. And the same thing anywhere. All right, bring this down like that. We're going to make something kind of interesting. Okay, and what I'm going to do is add some more detail up here. Select this top, hit the I key for inset, Now, my inset, I've got too many faces. So right away, I've got too many faces. So immediately I'm thinking, all right, even though I might be able to use that one, I want to start a new one. I'm going to go back to object mode because that's the mode we need to bring in the new object. Shift A, go back and get my cylinder, and right down here in my little panel, I'm going to start with bringing this down to maybe 12 sides. There we go. Hit the period key, and I've got 12 sides. I think that will work better. Okay. Now I'm going to make it a little bit larger. Bring it on back. And the whole idea is just to get something with some visual interest. We're going to keep this one. I'm going to come back. I'm going to, oops, I want to go back out to the object mode. But anyways, there we go. Save that one and edit mode. Let's go inside, grab the top, make it a little smaller. All right, that works great. Now, I want to add a little extra detail on the outside. So I'm just using my imagination. Select the surface, I key, inset it in, and immediately that should start striking your thought process. Like, okay, these extra shapes in here could be something, right? It could be something. What was that?
Poker chip.
It could be a poker chip. That's exactly right. Or we can do something cooler. Okay, let's do this. Let's do something. Let's go to this shape here. Let's go to hit the I key and inset it in. Or better yet, let me hit the escape key to go back. I can hit the E key and extrude it straight on down. All right. Alt Z gives me X-ray mode so I can see through it, so I can see what I'm doing and why I'm doing. Bring it down a little bit more. Okay. Maybe what I can do next is hit I again. I again, pull it on in. All right, what more can I do with this? Well, maybe if now that I've created an inset so I got another shape to play with, maybe I'll come and hit the E key and bring it on out like something like this. Alt Z to turn the X-ray off. And then maybe hit the S key to start doing a little scale like this. All right, that's starting to look like something kind of interesting, maybe. Well, I could do next, grab all these faces right along the edge there and hit the I key for inset. Now, Blender wants to inset that shape as one complete shape, but if I hit I again, it's adding individual shapes. If I left click to make that change and then use what to extrude, what's the letter I use? E key for extrude. And I want to extrude downwards like this. And now I'm starting to get some different looking little shapes in there. Okay, now that could be one. Now we'll just start there. We're gonna start customizing stuff. Go back to object mode. There's one. We're gonna pull it over here. In fact, we're gonna put this in a group, and we're gonna call it Steve's Custom Greebles. You can see all this stuff here, right? Look at this. It's disorganized. Is everything in one little group, and it's just going to throw you off on where things are. So this is how you handle it. I'm going to go to the top view. 7 key on the numeric side of the keyboard is a shortcut to show it only from the top view orthographically. I'm going to come and get those ones I imported in right there. I'm going to click and drag around them and select them all. In fact, I'm going to go to X-ray view just to make sure I get everything. And you can see them highlighted here. Next, with my mouse hovering over it, hit the M for man or M for move. Make a new collection. Anybody remember the name of this collection? No? Okay, so we'll call it GREEBLES third party. And click create. There it is. So here, right there, there's the group. I can cascade it up, and everything is inside of GREEBLES third party, and I can turn it off hitting the monitor symbol. So we got those organized. Now, we'll call this GREEBLES third party 2. This one here, M key once again, new collection, GREEBLES third party 2. Done. All right, so I've got 2 folders here, cascaded up, third party 1 and third party 2. Now we'll do one more. I'm going to select, I'm going to select mine over here, M key and new collection. We're going to call it Steve's Custom GREEBLES. Done. All right, there we go. All right, that's one. Let's go create something else. Matter of fact, let's duplicate this one. Shift D. And if I hit the X key, it will restrict it on the X-axis. I'm going to put it right next to it. Give it a little bit of space. And I'm going to add a little additional detail to the side that might make this another type of a Greebly we can use. Tab key, edit mode. Now watch this. Select one, skip one, shift select another. Now watch this. I'm going to go to X-ray mode. Control and shift held down together and hit plus, 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 plus. And it automatically starts to repeat that step. So now from here, let's see. We will add, check this out. Let me go back. Add I for inset. It insets them all equally. And I want to extrude them out, just a little extra detail outward. And I'm going to use not the E key for extrude. I'm going to use Alt E. And it's going to give me additional options here. One of them that I'm going to choose is extrude faces along normals. So this is a great one to use because whatever the normals direction on the face selected, that's the direction it's going to extrude toward. Select it on the normals and see. And I don't want that much, just about right about there. Okay? I just added a little extra detail. I want this all beveled. Now here's a neat little trick. Every one of these faces have their own axis, right? They're all facing a different direction. But I want to resize them all. So if I hit the S key for resize right now, this is what you're getting. And that's not what I want. I want it to resize along its normal. What you're going to do is right up here at the top, you have an option to tell Blender where the center orientation is going to be for every single object. Come join us. We got seats right up here in the very front. If you go to your right and come on up to the front, come all the way up to the front. Follow my voice. Follow my voice. There's one right there in front of you. To your right.
There's one right here. Go to that. I was in here earlier and I left something in.
Oh, then you should have remembered.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to resize each of these on their individual locations. I'm just kind of explaining a few little techniques to you, and then we're going to go to town and creating stuff. Right up at the top here, see on global, just to the right of it, and we're going to drop it down, and we can tell Blender what the center of orientation is going to be. Which one do you think we're interested in?
Individual origins.
Excellent. Individual origins. That means Blender says, okay, resize based on each one of those faces' individual origins. So now when I hit the S key, isn't that cool? Okay, we're done with this one. So that's another greebly, right? So I just, based off of the one I've got here, I just add a little extra detail, and we're going to stop there. We're not going to waste time. We want to make a whole bunch of different types of greeblies. So we're going to keep that one in mind. Now, let's do something else that's kind of fun. I'm going to look at, sometimes what I'll do is I'll go and look at greeblies, other examples of greeblies, but the best way to do is find your model kits, right? You know, the Millennium Falcon that people build, there's certain greeblies that, now, if you're a real geek, there's these guys, they know every freaking greebly, what model kit it came from on that Falcon. You can go back and look at it and design it. So we're going to design something like this next. And we're going to use modifiers this time. These are just simple cubes. That's all that is simple cubes. But that's kind of a cool look to it. So not only are we going to make something similar, but we're going to make a little bit of a kind of like what should I say, like a paneling, a grid paneling or something introduced to it. So let's go to work. All right, I'm going to use that as inspiration. I'm going to pull this on back so I can see everything. All right, we're going to start by making a cube. So wherever this 3D cursor is, which is right there, is where my greebly is going to show up. So if I just shift right click, that sets my 3D cursor wherever I want it. And from that point, shift A, let's go ahead, mesh, and put a cube right about there. All right, I'm going to go to scale, go to my scale tool, and we're going to just stretch it on out like so. Okay. And I'll probably get it to stretch it out a little bit like this, I think can work. All right, let's do something a little bit different to this. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to go inside, and I'm going to start modeling some little extra details. Tab key, edit mode. Grab the front face. Let's add some slices. Control R. Slice and hold right about there. Okay. Why did I do that? Control B for bevel. Pull it on out so I can make a little extra space right about there. Pull this on back like so. Now I can go grab that face. All right, what do I want to do with that face? I key, inset, pull it in about like that. Okay. E key, push it on in, something like that. Okay, now let's get back out to object mode, tab key, object mode, and let's bring in another cube. Okay, we're going to bring in another cube. Shift, what's the shortcut for bringing in another object?
Shift A.
Excellent. Shift A, mesh, cube. In fact, yeah, this would be good. This would be good. All right, so I'm going to pull this out. He left us. Pull this really thin. Pull it right about there. Okay, I'm using my imagination. And I'm going to pull it right about something like this. So we're going to make kind of like a little bit of a grid pattern inside. So push it on down. And I'm going to add a modifier. I'm going to add a modifier. That modifier is a non-destructive way of adding details to our object. The blue wrench over here on this vertical right side menu, that's your modifier tab. Add, generate, bevel. Boom. I'm going to bevel this. All right, I'm going to get in close so I can kind of watch my bevel. Come over here to the amount of the bevel, and I can adjust how much to bevel. I'm going to take it right about there. Since it's going to be a sci-fi looking thing, I'm not going to round it off. I'm going to keep it looking like this. Maybe push it up a little bit. That looks good. Now, I want multiples of those all the way down. So I'm going to start here. And I want multiples of those going down the x-axis. We're going to add another modifier. So keep in mind, we already got one bevel. Add another modifier, generate array. We go this route. We got array. I can go 5 or 6, whatever I want. But if I come down to the factor, which is the direction that we're offsetting in, I can click and drag here to add some offset in between. Okay, I'm going to show you the advantage of this. Add 6, add 7, add done. I'm happy with that. Now, say I want to add a little more detail to this, to every one of these grids. I only need to do one, because they're called instances. In other words, all these are duplicates based off of one, but all the data off the one is being applied to all of them. So if I go to edit mode, see, if I go to tab key edit mode, the one that's highlighted is the one you want to work with. So if I want to come in here and add a little more detail, like for example, Control R, add a slice here like so, click it twice. Control B, add a bevel. Okay. Now select the front face like so, Alt E, and this time extrude manifold. It pushes it in like this. We add that little bit of extra detail in there. Now we're going to do something else. We're going to add another piece of detail. We're done with it. And if I want to, remember these are two separate objects, so that gives me flexibility. So I added bevel to those inside pieces. I'm going to want to add bevel to this as well. So add a modifier, generate, because nothing in the real world is a sharp, hard edge. Everything is a rounded edge, so to speak, or some sort of a flat surface along the edge. Here's my bevel modifier. That's my offset. And if I add more segments, watch. If I get in close, so you can see this, add more segments, and there you go. Now it looks like a nice shape that we're going to add more details to. So Shift A, cube, bring it up, bring it back, go to my edit menu, grab the front face, pull it on out like so. We'll do something like this. And then maybe what we'll do is we'll grab the edge here just very quickly and just push this on back like so. Right? So we're just finding another greebly that we can play with. Now we're almost done. Almost done with this one. I'm going to bring it out a little bit more. I want to add one little extra shape. Now after I'm going to go back to object mode. Now check this out. On this big one, we've got one modifier called bevel, right? If I want this one to take on the same bevel as the other, here's a shortcut trick. Select the one that has no modifier. Shift select the one with the modifier. It's going to be highlighted in bright yellow, a bright orange. Once that's done, Control L for linked. And tell it to link what? Copy what? Excellent. Copy modifiers and watch what happens. Boom. See? Not automatically. So if you get, say, 10 of these in your scene, you're ready to bevel them. You bevel one and then use that shortcut to get them all the same exact bevel. Okay, one little thing I want to add to this, I think that's going to help this, is I'm going to add some circular shapes, because now I've got mostly rectangular shapes, which is kind of making it very, very boring. So Shift A, what did I do? I hit the A key. I want Shift A, Mesh. We go to Cylinder, like so. I'm going to pull the cylinder out, maybe right about there. Go to Edit Mode, like so. Go to X-ray so I can see what I'm doing. Now I'm going to rotate this cylinder very quickly. I want to rotate on the X-axis. R for rotate, X for the axis, and 90. Okay, I don't know what's happening here. Okay, so R for rotate, X for the axis, 90. There. I can go to side view, hit the 1 key, or the front face view, move it on into here, and this can this can happen in a different couple ways. If I rotate this out, let's go ahead and grab the sides. Let me kind of get out of X-ray mode, grab that front face, and go to my scale option, and we can pull it. The reason it didn't happen is because up here we got individual origins selected. We're going to select median point, which uses both of these sides as the whole piece. Now pull it on out like this. That works pretty good. That adds a nice little visual interest. S key, bring it down like that. And just place it right in the middle like so. I need a little more distance. It's not enough to add visual interest. There we go. Now we're going to add a command called bevel. With those two faces selected, we're going to use the shortcut Control B for bevel. And now we start to add a little more interest. See? So we're coming up with some nice little greebly ideas. Now what you could also do is this. You can take this, go back to object mode, take this top one here, duplicate it, and I'm going to do it now. Shift D to set it back, raise it up. Reduce it down with an S key like so. Push it in. Maybe push it back. Okay, I kind of liking that. We'll keep that as one greebly. So now that this is done, I'm happy with it. Now, what I want to do is I want to merge all this together. Now, you have to keep in mind that every one of these has these modifiers. So I need to actually apply the modifiers so that this all becomes real geometry. See, these multiples in here is not real geometry. They're based off of this array option. Right? So with that one selected, I'm going to come over here to your modifier tab and hit apply all. And that commits the changes so that when you get in here and go to edit mode, you've got real geometry now. Does that make sense? Isn't that nice? And you guys, you do not need to apply this to 3D print it. We need to apply it because I don't want to deal with, I'm going to replicate this. And I don't want to deal with multiple replications. I want to deal with one object. So I'm going to merge everything into one single object. That's why I need to apply the modifiers. Go back to object mode. Now let's select, see what else I need to select here. Oh, select this one here. We're going to apply the bevel. Okay, so apply all. I'm going to do the same thing for this one. Apply all. The same thing for this one. Apply all. Now, let me go look at this one here. There's no modifiers for that one. So this is how we're going to merge them. Watch this. Select this one, hold the shift key down. Select this one, hold the shift key down. Select that one, hold the shift key down. Select this one. Now finally, the last one, holding shift key down, select it. See? And all you have to do now is hit Control J. Boom. And look right up here. Now you have a single Greebly object. And by the way, I'm recording this so you don't have to take notes. Just saying. All right, now what are we going to do with this? Okay, let's go put this in the panel. So we'll do a little trick. Shift A, mesh, plane, hit the S key, make the plane bigger. Okay. And oops, let me go to put that back up. And let's see what can we do. I'm going to go just grab the Greebly. I'm going to make an array of this one Greebly here. Okay. Now, you could, what I would do is this. Make one so you can keep it, right? Shift D to duplicate it. Restrict it to the Y-axis, bring that one over. So this one we've got, right? I'm gonna put this next to the Steve Greeblies here. I'm gonna move all these over here, get them out of my way. Okay, we got the one by itself. Now we're gonna do multiples. Grab this one, and to do multiples, what do you think I'm gonna do? Someone tell me. That's right, I'm gonna add an array modifier. Add array, generate array, and I want an array in what direction?
Yeah.
The Y. So go to the X, go to the 0, put the 1 on the Y. 1 on the Y. There we go. Cool. And let's do multiples. Do something like this. Give it a little spacing. All right, come down to the Y. Shift, drag to the left, go to the right. Okay, there we go. Maybe something like right about there. Grab the panel. That could work. Let's kind of bring the paneling up a little bit. Now, tab key, edit mode. Go to my edge editing mode. And I want to make sure I'm in the move tool. Pull on up right about there. And I'm just kind of using my imagination here. Pulling on out right about here. I think I'm going to bring this in just a little bit more. Now, if I want to, I can do something a little fancy. In that I could go to my top view and I can cut off a little piece off the edge here. And I'm using the knife tool. K for the knife tool. Grab this corner here. Click and release. Grab that corner there. Click and release, and then enter. And then what I can do from here is go to my face editing mode, select that face, then hit the X key on the keyboard to delete faces. Okay, now I'm going to add this as a paneling, so I want to make this thicker. Here's a nice little trick. Get back out to object mode, because modifiers work in object mode. Edit, add the modifier, generate, solidify. See?
So
So
when you created that plane, it didn't have a Z-axis at all?
nope. Now it does. And that's what Solidify does. So now Blender will 3D print this because it's what? It's airtight. It's manifold. Another word for manifold. Airtight. Before it wasn't airtight, so it won't print it. Now it's airtight. Okay. And let's see. We'll do one last thing. We'll go. As a matter of fact, we'll use what I've already created. So I'll take one of these over here. I'll duplicate it. Shift D. Bring it on over. Bring it up like that. S key. I'm not just using my imagination. I'm thinking, ooh, that would look kind of cool, right? Let's see. I'll put it here in the center at first. I probably don't need a whole lot of these here right about there. I'm going to stick it down into the panel. Boom, like that. Okay. Add a modifier of array, and we're going to array this in the Y direction.
So if you did a -1 there, would it put it on the right-hand side?
That's correct. That's correct. So which doesn't matter. I can just move it back over here. And I think I'll just give it 4 of them. Okay, and just holding down the shift key allows me minute adjustments. I think I'll bring that right about there. That looks good. And just bring this back just a teensy bit. Okay, that works. I don't know. I'm thinking I'm liking it better if I go one more greebly. Give it a little extra detail. Yeah, that's better looking. I like that. I like that. Now, I'm going to show one more little trick in that you can use existing geometry to create more effects. For example, if I go into the panel, tab key, edit mode, I like to keep everything in quads. When you do your Greebly designs, keep everything quad based because your modifiers work optimally with quad based geometry. If you look at this here, if we go to our face here, or better yet, if I go to the number 1 key on my keyboard, you can see that you've got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. This is not quad based. I can make it a quad base very easily. Slice it from this point all the way to this end so that everything is quads. I'm going to do that next. So hit the K key for the knife tool. Start there. You can see the little blue dot attaches automatically to the point. Click and release. Drag it down. It automatically attaches to the other side. And then left click. There it is. And then enter. Done.
But don't you need to do the underside?
Okay, so hold on a minute. All right, so his question is, don't I need to do the underside? Can anybody answer his question? Do I need to do the underside of this shape? What was that? You said yes?
I would think so. That make the bottom side go up too.
Oh, guess what? You don't. You know why?
Or you're solidifying them?
It's the modifier.
Right, sorry.
Ah, okay.
The bottom doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Don't let it happen again. The bottom doesn't exist. So if I come over here to the modifier and turn it off, boom, see? This is why I work with planes. So that I don't have to worry about a bottom side. Time is money. Just one face, one side, work it, and when you're ready, solidify it. So now what I'll do is this. Watch this. I'll select that face. I want to add a little more detail. But this time, I think what I'll do is, I guess I can do it this way. It'll be easy. Hit the I key and just do something like this. And move that face on over here like this. See? Right? And then E. And I got a little extra detail. And then S. And I got some greeblies. That makes it look nicer. That one's done. Another greebly done. So now, if I just come over and turn back on my modifier, see? That'll make it airtight. Does that make sense? It's like, da-da. Okay, that's one done. Let's get this. So now, if I want this to be frozen in time, select this base one, apply all. Now we've got a bottom. So if I go into edit mode, there it is. See, I've got a up top, I've got a bottom, and that's all the geometry to support it.
Now you want to join all those, right? Because at this point they are
Excellent.
separate.
That's exactly correct. Now I'm going to want to join it. So let's go ahead and make life easy and go to my Greebles, apply those, right? All these, I think, well, this is an array. Apply the array. Okay, so we no longer, they're all real geometry now. So select it, 1, 2, 3. All right. What's the shortcut? Control J. Boom. Done. You
How do
got
know
you.
that something's not part of that object, that they're not joined together? Is it, if you put them in,
You'll see it right up here in the menu. If they're still two separate objects, it'll show up here.
okay.
If now this is a single object, so it only shows there. So if I turn it off and on,
Okay, I see that now.
yeah, they're all one object. They're all one object. All right, I think we're done. I think this is it.
So I have one question.
Yes.
So we made that greebly.
Yep.
Let's say that, you have a model kit at whatever scale.
Yep.
And you wanted to scale that greebly before you printed it to the same scale as the kit.
Excellent question. Check this out. Right-hand side, come over to the scene panel, which is there's this vertical right side menu. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. Click it. You see something that says units. Drop it open. You want metric, but you want it not in meters. You want it in what?
Millimeters.
Millimeters. Okay. Now you can design it accordingly. You don't quite know how large this one is, but go to the top view, and right over here, see that little measure thing? You can click it, start here, draw a line. Look at that. Those are the numbers.
I think it's huge.
It's huge. It's huge. If you want this to be, let's say, you only want this to be 200 millimeters. Oh my gosh, it's going to be too huge. Because why is it so huge? Because originally we designed it in meters. That's why.
So when you brought the file in,
Yeah.
if you would have set that at the millimeters, would it have scaled
Set it from the
spot?
millimeters from the very beginning. Start designing in millimeters from the very beginning. He just threw a curve at me.
Will that scale down without?
Oh yeah,
without
it'll scale down once you get to millimeters. It'll scale. Once you scale it down, you can easily scale this down. I can, if I want to go to, if I want to say I want to go 200 millimeters, I can easily take that down to 200 millimeters. Let's see if I see how blend. If you go to scale, there. Yeah, this is scaling in percentages. So you would just use your measuring tool to get it the way you want it. And it will work. In my workshop on Friday, we actually built an interior for the for the Starfighter, for the Buck Rogers Starfighter, and we started from the very beginning at the dimensions we wanted to end up at, and we put it into the 3D printing software, and it worked. It fit right on the printer naturally. Any other questions? Okay, so you have an opportunity to join me for workshops. It's a 5-week workshops. Once again, we talked about it earlier. If you don't have the card, come and get it. Chromeolution.com. Go to my workshops page, sign up. I only allow 8 people in the class to keep it tight. Join up for the 3D modeling for 3D printing, which starts at the end of June. If I click on that more, starts June 29th. And you're going to use, let me go to my text page here, or notepad is what I wanted to say. You're going to use this discount code right there. SDPUG stands for San Diego Photoshop Users Group 2025. Okay, I've already had several people from here already sign up for it, so you're going to be in good company. When we're done with that class, you guys are going to go into the 5-week Intro to Blender class, which is just right here, which starts in August after that one ends. And this is going to go into all the nuances of Blender, getting you well skilled in Blender, which is going to support your 3D printing skills. When this is done, I'll offer a Blender Brilliance class, which is going to get into the more advanced features of Blender.
Can you bring that code up so I can take a picture?
Yes, absolutely. So go on there.
And all those classes are recorded, right? So you can...
Every single one of them. They're recorded because I'm going to give you homework every week. And you're going to need the recording to help you. Okay, you're welcome. So if somebody would turn on the lights in the back, and if you need a testimonial, talk to Michael.
Keep taking them.
That's right. Oh, yes, absolutely. There you are. There you are.
Thank you.
My web address is on there. Hey, see you later. Well,
I already have.
you already got one. Okay, that's what I thought. Cool. Oh, yes, absolutely. There you go.
I have so many I can track the evolution of that model.
All right.
Well, you already switched me because what I seen you do right there in Fusion would have taken me 2 to 3 hours.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
The multiplication of the copies. You probably use Fusion. You know how hard it is to copy and
Yeah.
join and to modify the joint.
Yeah.
And the bevel.
Yeah.
Different edges and different.
Oh
You
yeah.
have to go in there and individually select every single face.
Oh yeah.
Crazy. So I'm gonna come back and talk to you. We're gonna address it real fast.
Right.
And I'll come back. I'm not going around. I'll come back. All right. Coffee while you're doing presentations is not a good idea.
come back.
A line at the
Got a
restaurant.
lot of incentive now to get that resin printer working now.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
I already ordered a heater from eBay for it to try to get the.
Yeah, I know what I should probably do. I live in San Diego, so